Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
For a week we tested Jeep's two most popular models, the Renegade and the Compass, which shares a platform with the Alfa Romeo Tonale. In their 239 horsepower plug-in hybrid PHEV versions. The Renegade 4xe starts at €42,825 and the Compass 4xe, which is slightly larger and more luxurious, at €50,050. There is a plug-in hybrid version of the Compass with 190 horsepower that is cheaper, starting at €46,900. To compare the general details of both models such as spaciousness or dimensions, we encourage you to read this other comparison of the general range, and complement this article with the test of each model, Jeep Compass 4xe and Jeep Renegade 4xe. After driving them in different everyday situations and making the same trips on the highway at the same pace, we have drawn some conclusions that apply to both cars. They are pleasant in 100% electric use and can be used daily in the city without wasting gasoline. But outside that area, when the battery is depleted, they have a low total range and consume a lot of gasoline. The Compass is a slightly more refined SUV in terms of suspension and interior, and benefits from the fact that, being more modern, it can have some updated equipment such as a more advanced multimedia system or additional driving aids. In both models you will find some details of those that touch the noses in the day-to-day, such as the operation of the assistants, the location of some controls, the operation of the accelerator or the hardness of the suspension. There are also good details, such as visibility or the great amplitude in case you are of great stature, especially if you opt for the Renegade. Driving. In the two Jeep plug-in hybrids, Renegade PHEV and Compass PHEV, as in other cars of this type, the driver can choose three driving modes: hybrid, electric and e-save. The first is the normal startup mode, in which the system manages the operation of the motors on its own as needed. Unless the accelerator pedal is pressed hard, it will normally start in electric mode and the car will move in this way as long as the speed is low. In electric mode, the system is forced not to start the gasoline engine. This means that the battery must be charged, and when it runs out, it will inevitably use the internal combustion engine. Both the Renegade 4xe and the Compass 4xe can be driven in electric mode at up to 130 km per hour, 80 miles per hour. Although both models have the same propulsion system, consisting of a 1.3 gasoline engine and two electric motors, one to drive the rear wheels and the other to charge the battery and standby, there are dynamic differences between the two. Not so much in how their engines work, which are similar, but in the steering and suspension. The Compass is more comfortable. The suspension filters out bumps better, especially on highways, where the Renegade sometimes becomes uncomfortable because it has firmer damping that makes irregularities noticeable in the form of constant small jolts. If the asphalt is not perfect, in the Renegade you will go jumping. Steering is also better in the Compass, although in neither car is it brilliant. Quite the contrary. In both cars it has a lot of assistance and they are imprecise when going fast, so it is common to make corrections on the highway. If the lane keeping system is also connected, you will be fighting with it because it insists on moving the steering wheel in a very sensitive way. Jeep has not managed to adjust the driving aids satisfactorily. They are too sensitive and, at times, annoying. The emergency braking system tends to startle you unnecessarily at times, with noises and signals, before activating the brakes, just because it thinks you've approached the car in front too quickly. Even if in reality it's simply a hold that makes you brake. And this is something common to both models. Consumption. The Jeep Renegade 4xe is more fuel efficient than the Compass 4xe in any situation. Although both models have the same 11.4 kilowatt-hour battery and the same 36.5-liter fuel tank, the Compass gets slightly more fuel. neither model has a good overall range. In the best case scenario, assuming you don't use up the fuel reserve and get an average highway fuel consumption of about 8.5 L/100 km, which implies driving smoothly and at a legal pace all the time, you will get about 380 to 400 kilometers of total range in the Compass, of which about 350 will be on gasoline and between 30 and 40 in electric mode. In the Renegade the accounts are worse, because on highways we have found higher consumption, around 9 or 9.5 L/100 km of gasoline, and similar in electric mode. If you manage to exceed 350 kilometers of total range, it means that you have driven it very smoothly. In the city, you may be able to exceed 40 kilometers of electric range, but you have to be willing to do so. That is, do not exceed 90 kilometers per hour on the flat. Take advantage of inertia as soon as you have the chance and brake whenever you can using the electric regeneration. You have two retention levels, the normal one and a more powerful one that is activated by pressing a button on the dashboard. In this way, you can get an electric consumption with both the Renegade 4xe and the Compass 4xe of around 25 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, which is a high consumption. The fact that it is very similar between the two models is due to the fact that aerodynamics have little influence at low speed. The Renegade consumes more on the highway than the Compass because its aerodynamics are worse. Electric recharging. The two Jeep PHEV models support the same maximum AC charging power, 7.4 kilowatts. At that level, which is common in supermarkets and public places but not in domestic sockets, you will need about an hour and 3/4 to charge the battery from 0 to 100%. A more common power rating is 3.2 kilowatts, using the Schuko plug charger provided in the trunk, plus a cable for a Type 2 or mini-keys socket, in which case it takes about 3.5 hours. At 2.3 kilowatts you will need 5 hours to have a full battery. As the charging schedule can be programmed from the multimedia system of both Jeep, you can take advantage of the off-peak rate schedule you have contracted. In this case, assuming that you recharge the 11.4 kilowatt-hour reel, they are less useful, but the load always has losses and what you pay is what is supplied by the network, not what the car uses, which is a little less, at a price of 0.10 euros per kilowatt-hour. The daily charge of 100% would cost you 1.14 euros and monthly you would pay about 34.20 euros, provided that you move around those 40 kilometers maximum useful range. In conclusion, choosing between the Renegade 4xe and the Compass 4xe ultimately depends on your specific needs and preferences. The Renegade offers a compact and agile design, making it ideal for urban driving and tight spaces, while the Compass provides a more spacious interior and enhanced off-road capabilities. Consider factors such as your daily driving habits, passenger space requirements, and desired features. Both models deliver impressive fuel efficiency and the benefits of plug-in hybrid technology, so you can't go wrong with either choice. Take the time to test drive both vehicles to see which one feels right for you, and make an informed decision that aligns with your lifestyle.